It's always good whenever you see the enemy on the mini map, and if you're not doing much, if you're jungling, if you're just auto attacking a lane or something, if you're just even walking around, if you see them on the mini map, just click on their item, click on the hero, and let's see exactly what item they have. Because you bet pro teams are doing that with your hero all the time. They are constantly checking your heroes and whatnot. And a good example of this is earlier when the Stormster zipped back immediately, just seeing the line here, Of course, he had War Vision. He clicked on the line and definitely saw a blink dagger on the line, and definitely knew the line was going for the kill there. So looks like they're gonna try to go for Roshan. Venomancer should use his wards for more vision and not for the Roshan. As he's doing exactly right now. Now he sees the Necrolite coming in. From that position, they knew they were not gonna get jumped on, so they finished the rush very quickly. So now Drow Ranger getting the Aegis here. So I know this game is a little bit one-sided, but this commentary is more of a tutorial than anything else. So I hope you guys are not really like bored out by this. It looks like there is going to be some rising, so I'm going to speed up to 2x speed here. And I mean, all these other EHome players are playing extremely well. This Drow Ranger, let's see how she's farming. She's at 122 creep kills, so it's not too bad. Meanwhile, the Kunkka is like 129. Yeah, 129. Now notice that even though they're really defensive, turtling and farming and whatnot, they do have a great deal of vision on the other side of the map. And these are some very offensive wards. And but with if you have a Venomancer on your team, he could just do this. Like, he could just place wards absolutely everywhere. He should pop more into like blind spots in the jungle. That's at least what I would do. But again, I'm not King J. Is this King J? Yeah, that is King J, I think. Yeah, King J playing the Venomancer. So of course King J know about a lot more about Venomancer than I do. As we see a push going mid, so I'm gonna speed it down to 1x speed. It's a matter of time before King J picks up a gem, because he will be counter warding pretty soon here. Notice that the Lion is going to be staying fairly back because he does have a blink dagger, so he could join up with his teammate very quickly. And really, Storm Spirit and I mean Lion's playing style really is reminiscent to Storm Spirit's playing style. Of course, both has a very blinking, so of course the Lion can't blink excessively and endlessly like the Storm Spirit could. But really, they play very differently, similar, excuse me. As we see Demon Rich picking up a BKB, and you bet $10 that Stormster is gonna pick up BKB too. Yeah, Stormster already has his BKB finished, so both sides, both of the initiators does have BKB finished, and we're gonna see some crazy, impaling, crazy action. With this kind of gear, you generally want to prefer a Blink Dagger BKB than a Storm Spirit BKB, because I mean, Storm Spirit isn't as offensive as a Blink Dagger line, in my opinion, because he could stun, he could voodoo, he could finger, and he could just pick off a person immediately. And as we see more farming going on, and one thing I have to notice, one thing I have to point out is that don't get me wrong when I say, okay, if you're dying, just cast all your spells and just go die. Of course, try your best to stay alive here. As we see X, whenever he has a salve on him, he pops a salve whenever he's just out of action. And even though your glass cannon line spells cool down fairly quickly, I think it's like 12 seconds or 10 seconds. I think it's like 12 seconds for the voodoo and 13 seconds for the impale or something. So his spells cool down very quickly, and most team fights last about 10-15 seconds or so. And if you keep chasing in mind, when the team fight ends, both teams like to chase the lagging heroes and whatnot. Team fights last long enough for you to throw out at least 1 or 2 impales and 1 or 2 voodoo. So as long as you have the mana, you have to very try your best to stay alive, because as a line with the blink dagger, you have a very great mobility to help out your teammate. You kind of just dodge out, and once things cool down, blink back in, and it doesn't matter. Like a lot of lines, I see them run home with 50 HP and like 800 mana. That's what you should never do. Generally, try not to go home with too much mana on you. Also, keep in mind that it doesn't matter how much HP the line has if they're not hitting you. If you're able to chain stun them with voodoo, impale, and all that stuff, it doesn't matter how much or how little HP you have. All it matters is that you're chain stunning them and they're not hitting you. So keep that in mind, and hopefully we're going to see a good example of that later on in this team fight. And again, as a Lion player, you gotta converse your team. Who is gonna focus? He's gonna focus on the Necrolite here. It goes a Finger of Death here and goes for Impale, and like you are throwing every single spell on this Necrolite. Necrolite looks like this Lion is very low HP, and keep in mind he is not out of the battle yet, and this Lion is waiting for his dagger cooldown. Dagger is cooldown. Let's see if he's gonna jump in. He does blink in for the Crystal Maiden. This is exactly what I mean. Even if you have 50 HP or 200 HP in this case, it does not matter if you're not getting hit, and X just showcasing that very well. Now he's gonna be back. He's gonna just take a couple of creep shots. Oh wow, what a quick blink, and that was just icing on the cake. Wow, I didn't even, that Stormster zipped in, then Lions like said, "Low, I got a blink too," and he just got out. So wow, X here just showcasing why he is one of the best Lion player in the world, and keep in mind that everyone in EHome could play Lion just as well, if not better. And that is the scary thing about EHome, is that or the other Chinese teams, that a lot of Chinese players just have very high individual skill level. With that, I didn't finish. I was talking about earlier, choosing a target carefully. You know, talking about a team like who do I focus, who do I not focus? Because with the blink BKB line, you could blink in and have a lot of time being basically invulnerable, because it's very stupid of the enemy team to focus on a line after all your spells are casted, because you know, generally that's the most dangerous moment about a Lion, is blinking in stun voodoo finger. That, you know, after you cast everything, of course you're gonna be back in a team fight in 13 seconds or so, but the enemy team have to deal with other threats, other more you know, imminent threats, such as the Draw Ranger, such as the Vengeful Spirit and the Kunkka, so they won't really generally focus you all too much when you blink BKB in. Now it's a totally different story if you blink in the you know, blink in the center of 4 enemy heroes and your teammates aren't even there. But in the last case, his teammate followed up very well. You saw a Draw Ranger gone in with BKB, and Kunkka helped out with ships and torrents. So that was a very well played by his team, and especially very well played by Lion. He unleashed his entire combo, got a couple hit on Necrolite and just bailed. But even with 200 HP, he blinked in very aggressively against that Crystal Maiden and got a kill on the Crystal Maiden as well. So again, you gotta keep in mind, as a Witch Doctor, not a Witch Doctor, as a Lion, you're not done until you're dead or until they're dead. Like, you know, you're not done. So because your spells cool down very quickly, and your dagger, of course, 14-second cooldown. And of course, this Lion should be very careful in terms of not getting his dagger canceled like this. And he's waiting for a very safe spot. I think Draw Ranger has a 1-minute cooldown on his Aegis. That's why they're letting the Draw Ranger go in first. And because of that, they are going to get the range racks, and Scourge is really in trouble. This Necrolite is very tank at this point. He does have a Shiva's Guard, gas of a Ghost Scepter, so he will be tanking a lot of damage and will be in the center of fight. So maybe look forward for the Scourge team to switch target on the Storm Spirit now. If you could catch a Storm Spirit being unable to unleash his BKB, then is a good time to pick off a Storm Spirit very quickly, because Storm Spirit is just not a very tanky hero. He's only sitting around 1600 HP, but you know, with the entire stun combo of a Lion here, let's see how much Lion that he does right now. So level 4 Impale does 260 damage. Of course, level 2 Finger of Death, I believe it does 650 damage without Aga. So adding that up, that is, I think, 910 damage or something like that. That's a lot of burst damage. And of course, the Storm Spirit does have 25 damage reduction, 25% damage reduction. But again, you're looking at, you know, at least 700 burst damage. That's a lot of damage, and a lot of stun time as well. So his teammate could come in and help out. And this entire Sentinel team is just roaming together. So I'm going to speed up 2x speed.